A kid, just 17 years old, he lines up against grown men, real pros in the 400 meters, and he runs 44.10 seconds, still in high school. Then Michael Johnson watches the tape. This man is the greatest 400-meter runner ever, and he says words nobody saw coming. We'll get to that in a second, but first you need the full story, because this record is huge, but almost losing everything before he got here? That's the part nobody talks about. Let's dive in. Chesapeake, Virginia. Just a regular town, a regular family. Nothing here screams future world record holder. But look closer. Both his parents were athletes. His mom, Monique, was a Hall of Fame star in soccer and basketball back in college. His dad, Roy, played football at the Naval Academy. Even his big sister runs track at James Madison University. So yeah, sports run deep in this family. But here's the thing. Lots of kids have athletic parents. Most of them never become the next Usain Bolt. What makes Quincy different? One huge decision his family made when he was still just a boy. Most families would never even dream of doing what they did. They packed up everything, left Chesapeake behind, moved all the way to Potomac, Maryland. Why? For one school, Bullis, a private school with serious track talent and one special coach. A coach the family believed could turn their son into a star. Stop and think about that for a second. His parents looked at their boy and said, "We believe in you that much." New house, new city, new life, all riding on one bet that this kid was worth it. That's massive pressure for a teenager who hadn't proven anything yet at the top level. And for a while, that pressure starts to crack the surface. But hold on, before we get to the hard part, you need to see just how fast this kid really was, right from the start. At age 14, his numbers weren't just good, they were shocking. Quincy Wilson smashes Obeah Moore's under-14 national record in the 400 meters. That record stood for 30 years, and Quincy is still in middle school when he breaks it. People in the track world take notice, but only a little, because everyone's seen this movie before. A young record, big headlines, then nothing.
You've seen it too, right? Some 15-year-old runs a wild time. Everyone freaks out. 5 years later, nobody remembers the name. Maybe the body didn't grow the way people hoped. Maybe the pressure got too heavy. Maybe life just happened. It happens all the time. So when Quincy smashes a 30-year-old record at just 14, the experts are impressed, but they're not sold yet. Show us more, they say. Show us against real competition. Prove that record wasn't just a lucky day with a nice breeze. And honestly, their doubts made sense. They'd seen this story fail before. Then something happens that silences a lot of the doubters. But it also creates a brand new problem, one that almost wrecks everything. Enter Coach Joe Lee from Bullis School. This is the man Quincy's whole family moved states for. And what makes Joe Lee special sounds simple, but it's actually super rare. He does not rush Quincy. So many young stars get pushed too hard, too fast, and burn out before they even hit their peak. Not this kid. Coach Lee builds his season slow and careful. He protects him. He controls the schedule. He decides when Quincy races and when he rests. He trusts the long game, even when results dip, even when the internet starts asking questions. That kind of patience doesn't make headlines, but it's exactly why everything else becomes possible. Here's one small moment that tells you everything about who Quincy Wilson really is. After his very first Olympic race in Paris, with the whole world watching, a reporter asks how he plans to celebrate. His answer? He wants to go home and play Call of Duty with his buddies. Not a fancy dinner, not a big interview tour, just video games with friends. That's Quincy Wilson, a teenager who just happened to become an Olympic champion. Paris 2024. Quincy Wilson is only 16 years old. He gets picked for Team USA's 4x400 relay pool. That makes him the youngest male track and field Olympian in American history. 128 years of American men at the Olympics. Nobody younger than him, ever. He runs the opening leg in the preliminary heat. You can see the nerves. He clocks 47.27 seconds. Not his best, but good enough. The team moves on. Then in the final, Wilson isn't even in the lineup, but his team storms to gold anyway. Quincy Wilson is an Olympic gold medalist at 16 years old. He hasn't even finished high school yet. Let that sink in. This kid is doing homework in class with an Olympic gold medal at home.
Now, the whole world is watching him.
Every meet he shows up to sells out. Every time his name pops up on a start list, people stop and stare. The pressure jumps from high to insane almost overnight. And that's exactly where trouble begins, because there's a big difference between being a prodigy people are excited about and being a champion people expect to win every single time. In 2025, Quincy Wilson learns just how brutal that difference can feel. 2025 hits, and it goes sideways fast. January, the Virginia Showcase. Quincy lines up in the 500 meters, a race everyone expects him to win. Another high schooler, Andrew Salvador, beats him, not by a little. Salvador runs 101.49. Quincy runs 102.49. That's a full 2 seconds behind. The internet does what the internet always does. People who were calling him the future of American sprinting just months ago now question if the hype was ever real. Then outdoor season starts, and it gets even worse. He loses at the Florida Relays. He loses at more meets after that. He fails to qualify for the 2025 World Championships. Think about that. An Olympic champion at 16 can't even make the team at 17. A real Olympian goes public and says Quincy needs a break, says the schedule is too much, says they're watching burnout happen live right in front of everyone. Fans are lost. Experts are worried. The people who doubted him from day one feel proven right. And through all of it, Quincy Wilson is just 17, handling this mess in public while trying to finish his last year of high school. Picture that for a second. You're a teenager, you already have Olympic gold, and the entire internet is asking if you're already done. Most kids would break under that. Most would panic and switch everything up. New coach, new training, new plan. Quincy Wilson didn't. He went back to the basics, back to Joe Lee, back to the track. And what happens next in Memphis silences every single doubter. Comment below right now. Did you give up on Quincy Wilson during that rough stretch in 2025? Or did you always know he'd bounce back? I want to hear it. July 13th, 2025, the Ed Murphy Classic, Memphis, Tennessee. Quincy Wilson lines up for the 400 meters. This isn't high school. This isn't juniors. This is a real professional meet against real professional runners. Bryce Deadman is in the race, one of the fastest 400-meter men in the whole country, a grown man with years of pro experience. Wilson starts in lane 5. He pushes hard through the first 200 meters, stays calm, stays controlled. Then, down the final straight, he lets it all go. 44.10 seconds. The whole stadium explodes. Let's really sit with that number for a second, because it's massive. 44.10 seconds. That is the fastest time any under-18 runner has ever run the 400 meters in the whole history of the sport, anywhere, ever. No 17-year-old on planet Earth has run it faster. It's also the second fastest time by any under-20 athlete ever recorded. And get this, it was the 4th fastest 400-meter time in the entire world in 2025. Not just for teens, for everyone. Grown professional athletes who train their whole lives for this one event. And a 17-year-old still in high school posts the 4th fastest time on Earth that year. He beats Bryce Deadman. He beats every pro in that race, and he does it from the front, fully in control, like there was never any doubt at all. Fans watching say it felt impossible to believe. One person says they've never seen a teenager dominate a race like that from start to finish. Another calls it one of the greatest performances in track and field history, not just youth track and field, period. And Michael Johnson, the man who owned the 400-meter world record for years, the man who spent his whole career explaining why this race destroys people, watches 44.10 happen, and he has to admit it. This is a generational talent, the kind you see once every 10 years if you're lucky. 44.10. Say it again. 44.10 seconds at just 17 years old. This is the same kid getting beaten by high school rivals back in January. The same kid the internet wrote off. The same kid people said was burning out in real time. That kid just ran the fastest under-18 400 meters in the history of this planet. Now let me tell you how Quincy reacted, because it tells you more about him than any stopwatch ever could. After breaking the record, after the stadium went wild, after his coach popped champagne on the infield because, hey, 17-year-olds can't legally drink it, Quincy Wilson posts one thing on his Instagram story. 3 words: On to the next one. No big speech, no trash talk, no look at me moment, no long caption about the haters and the comeback. Just 3 words and straight back to work. That's the whole person right there. That's the kid whose family moved states just for him. That's the same kid who went home from the Olympics to play Call of Duty. That's the athlete who got knocked down publicly for 6 months and never once panicked, never once changed the plan. On to the next one. And that should terrify everyone else in this event. Because Quincy Wilson just turned 18. He hasn't even hit his physical prime yet. His best years aren't behind him. They're not even close. Most elite 400-meter runners peak in their mid to late 20s. Wilson has a full decade of growth still ahead of him. The world record stands at 43.18 seconds, set by Michael Johnson back in 1999. It's held strong for over 25 years. Nobody has even come within half a second of it since. And Quincy Wilson is already sitting at 44.10 at just 17. Do the math. Follow where this is going. Think about what happens when this kid turns 24 or 25, fully grown, fully developed, racing on the world's biggest stages with years of experience under his belt. That world record isn't just in danger. If Quincy stays healthy, stays focused, and keeps performing like he did in Memphis, that record could fall. And Los Angeles 2028 is right around the corner. A home Olympics on American soil, the whole country watching. Quincy Wilson will be 20 years old, already an Olympic champion at 16, already a world-class record breaker at 17. So what does 20 look like? So here's my question for you. Drop it in the comments. Los Angeles, 2028. Quincy Wilson is 20 years old, home crowd, everything on the line. Does he take 400-meter gold and break Michael Johnson's world record right there on American soil? Or does the pressure of a home Olympics finally get to him? Let me know below. I read every single comment. And if you want the full breakdown of what's next for Quincy this season and whether he finally makes a world championship team, hit subscribe. That video is coming very soon.